very good afternoon to all my dear children. So, you all know that in science subject we are in the 10th chapter, that is natural resources. Do you all remember the topic? What is the topic? Natural resources. Okay. So, I request everyone to take your science book, okay, to the page number 53. Now we'll just recap what we learned in the previous class. Okay, so natural resources. So resources means what I told you. Resources are things that we can use. Okay, resources means the things that we can use. For example, money, mission, land, right? All the things that we are using are said to be resources. So natural resources in the sense, the things that we are using naturally, we are getting naturally, like air, water, soil, all those things are natural resources. So we saw about forest and grasslands, right? Forest and grasslands help us in many ways. It gives us food, medicines, everything, right? And it also gives food and shelter for the animals also. Okay, next we are getting honey, medicines, firewood, timber, everything in the forest only. Next, wildlife. What is meant wildlife? Wildlife means all the organisms living in their natural surrounding. So wildlife means all the organisms living in their natural surroundings, that is said to be, of course, wildlife. Okay, now turn to the page 54. So in page 54 we learnt about the tiger. Tiger is an endangered animal, right? So already I told you that what is the meaning for endangered and extinct. Endangered means when very few of a particular kind of organism are left in a place. Only few of an organism left in a place. Okay, or in the world, that is said to be endangered. Extinct means when an organism vanishes from a place or from the world, vanishes from a place or world, that is said to be extinct. And in the previous class we saw about rocks. Three basic types of rocks. What is the first one? Igneous, metamorphic and sedimentary. See, it is given in page number 54. You can see. Okay, three basic types of rock, that is igneous, metamorphic and sedimentary. Okay, so to ignite means what? To fire. Something related to fire we saw, right? And then how we are getting all those things? Igneous. Okay, when the, when the layer of the earth, the top layer of the earth, when it millions of years ago, when it just become hardened, so we'll get this type of rock, igneous, right? And granite also is an igneous rock which we use as a thing for building material. Okay, now turn to the page 255. Here, like one activity they have given in page number 55. Okay, here activity they have given in page number 55. So what activity is that? Something this activity will tell us. Add some soil to a jar of water and stir the mixture well. Then wait for some time. In a while, most of the soil will settle at the bottom of the jar. The soil settled at the bottom is called a sediment. First we saw about igneous. Next is sedimentary. Sedimentary means what is that? So here they have given an activity, that is, take a jar, fill the jar with water and add some soil into the jar, stir it, that is mix it well. Okay, then wait for some time. What happens after some time? The soil will settle down at the bottom of the jar. So that settled particle, see in this picture they have given that brown color settled part. This is said to be sediment. Okay, here what they have given about sedimentary. Okay, shall we see? Okay, many layers of sediment form similarly at the bottom of lakes and seas. So this thing is an example for even lakes and seas also. You can see under the water, you can see the sedimentation, right? They are formed by the rock particles carried by rainwater and rivers. Okay, rock particles in the sense tiny pieces, very small pieces. How all these soil forms, how these tiny particles form? These tiny particles forms when the rainwater or when the river rushes it. Okay, next. They are also formed by the remains of plants and animals. For example, the shell of aquatic animals. See, not only this reason, even the shells of aquatic animals. Okay, then over millions of years, these sediments get pressed together and form sedimentary rocks. So what happens over millions of years? These sediments, it will get pressed together under the bottom. So what happened? And it forms sedimentary rocks at last. Sandstone and limestone are sedimentary rocks. Sandstone is used for building, while limestone is used for making lime. Okay. Lime in the sense not a fruit. It is, in Tamil we used to say sunnambukal. Okay. Then next we are going to see metamorphosis. Okay. Metamorphosis means change of form. So underline this thing. Underline the statement. Metamorphosis means change of form. How it's changing in its form. Okay, that is said to be metamorphosis. When igneous or sedimentary rocks get buried underground, they sometimes change into completely different rocks. This happens because of pressure and the heat inside the earth. New rocks formed from igneous or sedimentary rocks are called metamorphic rocks. Marble and slate are two metamorphic rocks used for building. Very, very easy to remember. Metamorphic means change of form. So what happens when igneous or sedimentary rocks get buried, deeply get buried underground? What happens? They sometimes completely they will change into a different type of rock. A new rock you will get because of the pressure and heat of the earth inside it. So new rocks will form. Okay, that is said to be metamorphic. Marble and slate are the two examples for the metamorphic rocks. So first one igneous, second one sedimentary, and third one is metamorphic. Igneous means to ignite means to fire. Sedimentary means the things settle down under the water. Metamorphic means change of form. Okay, next, metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals. Okay, shall we all see? Metals and non-metals. Rocks are made up of metals and non-metals. Usually these substances are all mixed up together. So it is very difficult to take out any one metal or non-metal from rocks. But some rocks have a lot of a particular metal or non-metal. We call such rocks Ores. Underline this word, ores. O-R-E-S, ores. Okay. See, rocks, it is all the rocks are made up of some metals and non-metals. Okay. Usually it will be mixed up together. So it is very difficult to take particular metal separately and particular non-metal separately, because everything are mixed up. So in a particular rock, when a particular when a particular metal or non-metal it is there in a particular rock, that we call those rocks, we call it as ores. O-R-E-S, ores. Next, mines are dug to get ores. The mines can be open pits or long tunnels. After the ores are dug out, they are purified. That means things mixed with the metal or non-metal we want are separated from the ore. Different ores are purified in different ways, but most of the process include heating very strongly. So mines means to dug out the ores, to take the ores, like to dug out, thondi edukaradu. Okay, so the mines can be open pits. It can be open pits or big tunnels. So after the ores are dug out, what happened? Then the next process is purifying it. Okay, that means things mixed with metal or non-metal, no, they will separate it from the ore. Next, different ores are purified. So there will be different types of ores, and those different types of ores are purified in different ways. Okay, but most of the process it includes definitely heating very strongly for the purification. Okay, next, iron, copper, tin and aluminium are some useful metals. Underline this statement. Iron, copper, tin and aluminium are some useful metals. Gold and silver are called precious metals. We all know that gold and silver, very costly and precious, right? So iron, tin, copper, aluminium and all, mostly we use that. While brass and bronze are made by mixing together copper and other metals. So brass and bronze, both metals are mixed with copper and other metals. Okay, so mixture of metals are called alloys. So when we mix all the metals together, some metals together, it is said to be alloys. Like for example, brass and bronze, it will be mixed up together with copper and other metals. So that is said to be alloys. A-L-L-O-Y-S, alloys. Did you all understood? Next. So here a picture they have given. Sulfur is used in medicine, matches and firecrackers. Pattasugal. Matches, teepatti. And this is Nebasulf powder. So when we got wound on our skin, what happens? We used to apply this powder, right? So all these includes sulfur. Why this sulfur is used? Sulfur is used in medicine, matches and firecrackers. Okay, here phosphorus, sulfur and carbon are three important non-metals. Underline. These are the three important non-metals: phosphorus, sulfur and carbon. Phosphorus burns very easily, so it is used to make matches. So we use matchstick, right, to get to fire. So that matchstick it mixed up with what? Phosphorus. Why phosphorus? Phosphorus burns very easily, that's why. It is very important for the growth of plants also. Plants draw it from the soil. How the plants will get the phosphorus? From the soil. We too need phosphorus for strong teeth and bones. We get it from milk, fish, meat, eggs and pulses. So as we are all human beings, even we too need phosphorus. Where do we get phosphorus? From milk, fish, meat, okay, eggs, okay, for our strong teeth and bones. Okay, next, sulfur. Sulfur is a yellowish solid. It is used to make medicines, fireworks, matches and dyes. It is also used to make the liquid, that is acid in batteries and all, car batteries, like that. Coal and graphite are forms of carbon. Coal is used as a fuel. Graphite is used to make pencil, lead and batteries. So sulfur, how it looks like a yellowish solid. So it is used to make medicine, fireworks, matches, dyes and all. So it is also used in batteries, liquid acid, okay, batteries also. Then coal, an example, coal and graphite are the forms of carbon. So coal is used as a fuel. So then curry, we used to say curry. Graphite is used to make pencil lead. You are using to write pencil lead, those things and batteries. Next, all non-metals do not come from rocks, of course. All the non-metals we will not get from the rock. Oxygen and nitrogen, two of the most important non-metals, come from the air. Of course, underline oxygen and nitrogen. These two non-metals, we are getting it from the air. Okay, children, I think you all understood until this thing. Please go through page number from 53 to 56. Okay, so make it yourself thorough in all these things. Understand and learn. Okay, children, thank you all.